Welcome back to Sun Crypto Daily Update. In today's content, we're going to talk about our routine daily update, and then we're going to start with ADA, right? But before we get started, make sure you go to my channel and then you go back and watch this Cardona ADA breakout preview. Just about like I think it was like 3:15:19, right? So 3:15:19. So I made a Cardona breakout preview. So pretty interesting, right? So and make sure to hit the like and subscribe if you find this content useful, right? So we're gonna start off with Cardona, right? When you take a look at the price of Cardona, beautiful inverted head and shoulder, nice breakout, like I previously said, right? About 7 days ago. The RSI is completely overextended 90. That's the first tap coin I see like with a 90 on the RSI when you're using this the Hack and Ashy, right? I'm using the Hack and Ashy candles. So 91 is pretty serious, right? So beautiful like uptrend, right? So what I'm looking for Cardona to do, at least, right, to keep up the momentum, I'm waiting for another segment, right? This segment of a sideways correction, either sideways correction or some big volatility. So but next target for Cardona is just about this area of 1800, right? So we pretty much reach our target of 1671 almost, right? I think Cardona high was like a 1650 today, so we almost hit our target of 1671 from our previous Cardona update. So keep an eye on Cardona, pretty bullish, nice crossover between the 50 and then 100. So most likely gonna cool down at least for the short term before we we move to the upside, right? So next coin we're going to take a look at is XRP. When you take a look at XRP, I think XRP is one of the safest coin to be buying for April. I'm gonna be accumulating a lot of XRP in April, right? So because I think like XRP is ready to take out, right? You take a look at the triple bottom, we got just about this area. We got a nice divergence on the daily time frame, right? So you got a nice divergence, between price and the RSI, right? You can see a big inverted head and shoulder, a falling wedge, a divergence. XRP is just bullish, right? Overall bullish. Even though the price is not moving up, you just have to be patient, right? So just have to be patient. Nice divergence between the RSI and price, right? So you can see the RSI is moving to the upside, right? And then RSI is making like some lower highs and some high lows, and then price is making some lower highs, right? So so keep an eye on XRP at least for the short term. Nice divergence. I'm just waiting for XRP to break out this rectangle and then move to the upside. So but we're gonna get some serious challenge from this crossover, unless we get like a 1.8 to 1.2 billion volume. I don't think like XRP gonna move anyway until we get a volume of 1.2 billion. So that's what I'm looking for XRP to do, a big move to the upside with a big volume. I'm looking for this type of volume at least for the short term, right? Volume is declining over and over, right? Over the last 7 days, big selling pressure, right? We only got like 1 green candles on over the last 10 days almost, right? So keep an eye on XRP for April to be extremely bullish, right? So and then we could be seeing like XRP with a 60% move in at least in April, right? Next coin we're gonna talk about is XLM. As we previously mentioned, right, about XLM is pretty bullish. We are getting a nice accumulation move. So you could be expecting XLM to be just about this area for the next couple of days. We got a big support just about this area of 50 EMA, right? So I'm expecting at least price to retest the 50 EMA at least for the short term. I'm pretty comfortable with this RSI. So what I'm waiting for RSI to make an accumulation move just like this, right? Let's see, just like that. I'm waiting for RSI to make an accumulation move before we move back to the upper level of this RSI 70 and 80, right? So XLM is overall bullish, at least for the short term. Volume is declining, but at the same time the selling pressure on the volume is declining. So I don't see like big selling pressure to be coming in, like at least for the short term, right? So we could be expecting like volume to be declining over time, just like that, before we see some more buying pressure. So keep an eye on on Stellar, right, at least for the short term. Next coin we're gonna talk about is Ethereum. When you take a look at Ethereum, big selling pressure to the downside, a move to the upside, come back, retest 50 and 100 EMA, got a big support, a triple bottom. RSI is looking beautiful. I like this formation on the RSI. So what I'm expecting, at least for the short term, RSI to break this area of upper level of the triangle, right? So rectangle, right? So you could be expecting like the RSI just about this area to break this area with a very impulse move, right? So you could be expecting like price to do the same, right? So I'm waiting for RSI to break this area, come back, retest it, and then they move to the upside. So price would be doing the same thing, move to the upside, come back, retest this area of a correction before a very impulse move. So I don't think like this area of resistance going to be any issues. As soon as we break this area and retest it, that's it. I think like the selling pressure is declining, so I expect like selling pressure to keep declining and then a big move to the upside. So so keep an eye on Ethereum, right? So next coin we're going to talk about is LITECOIN. When you take a look at LITECOIN made a beautiful bottom formation. RSI is looking great, even though like it's completely like we're getting a big divergence on the RSI. It doesn't mean anything. It is giving you a warning, but it does mean something, but it doesn't mean like price going to be going down very soon. Of course price going to be correcting, right? But you take a look at the type of correction LITECOIN is getting, right? Pretty beautiful correction. We got a nice correction just about this area. Everybody thought like LITECOIN gonna be going down, LITECOIN move back up. So we got a similar correction, right? It's just smaller, a similar nice correction, and then I'm expecting another move to the upside. Even if LITECOIN turns bearish, I'm expecting a support just about this area. So you would be looking at just about like 10 to 15% drop versus BTC. So it all depends how BTC going to be behaving. If BTC going to be going back to 3K or 3,500, so you could be seeing like LITECOIN back to like 35 or so. But it all depends, right? So just keep an eye on LITECOIN. Pretty bullish. My target for LITECOIN is going back to a May high right now. So we already broke this area of October high, right? So we're already at June high. So looking at, we're already at late June, right? So my only concern was this area of August and October. We broke this area. Now we are almost at most likely going back to like April and May high of 2018. So keep an eye on LITECOIN. RSI is still looking beautiful. The divergence could last like for let's say for another 30 days at least, right? If you take a look at Tron has a 45 days divergence. So LITECOIN can also get a 35 to 45 days of divergence, right? It doesn't mean like price gonna go down all of a sudden, but eventually it's gonna go down. The price gonna go down, but not in like the next 3 or 4 days. I don't see LITECOIN turning bearish. So but we're just gonna keep an eye on the price action. If LITECOIN decide to turn bearish, we got a big support just about this area of previous correction. So let's go ahead and take a look at NEO. When you take a look at NEO and Ethereum, they pretty much similar, right? Nice correction, right? So basically NEO already got this nice correction just about this area, come back, retest it. So what I'm looking for with NEO is just to make a very impulse move. I don't even see like NEO coming back to retest this area of the rectangle, right? As soon as we break it, we could see like NEO being very aggressive very shortly, right? Because a very nice correction, right? And price is not even going anyway. So we only got like a 10 to 15% drop just about this area, right? We got a 15% drop, and then RSI got get back to this area of neutrality to get more momentum. The volume is very low just about this area, so you could be expecting like NEO to, at least for the short term, to receive more volume, right? At least for the short term, right? to break this area, at least, right, with a big volume to the upside, just like this type of volume you're looking at, just about this area. So I'm looking for NEO at least to start getting this type of volume before another big volume to the upside, at least for the short term. So keep an eye on NEO. A 1-to-1 extension, you know, wouldn't hurt, just about this area. Alright, so you're looking at another 1-to-1 extension. We're just going back to roughly like September high. So NEO is pretty bullish. Today's date is 23, not 22nd, 23rd. So keep an eye on NEO, ontology, and gas, right? Gas and NEO, gas could be like a, you know, breaking out very shortly, even before NEO does, right? So keep an eye on gas also, and ontology. Ontology most likely going to be correcting before NEO move to the upside. So maybe ontology coming back to $1 or $1.10 before NEO, you know, get the volume and move to the upside. So next one we're going to talk about is ICX. I'm still bullish on ICX. So I'm just looking for the right volume to come in, you know, to kick in, and then you know, we're gonna break this area of selling pressure with a big volume. So the selling pressure is declining, right? So you can see the selling pressure just about this area, right? It's declining over time. So you could be expecting just like the selling pressure to decrease, and then we're gonna come in. I mean, the bull's gonna come in with a big, you know, volume just about this area. So just like that. So overall, ICX is a, you know, pretty bullish, nice, you know, bull flag on Heiken Ashi. So that's pretty good. Not much volume, even though the price is you know, declining. The volume is very low compared to the buying pressure. If the selling pressure was greater than the buying pressure, I could be like getting some concern. But you know, pull back to just about 50% pullback. You know, we're about to get a nice crossover between the 50 and then 100. So as soon as we get this crossover between the 50 and then 100, we could be expecting like great thing to happen on ICX, right? So ICX and WANCHAIN, they both, you know, got similar pattern. ICX, WANCHAIN, ARC, AION. I think like another coin. I think it was can't remember right now, but I think it's Nuclear Vision, yeah, and Cash. They got similar pattern. So just keep an eye on ICX, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the WANCHAIN. You take a look at WANCHAIN, similar pattern as ICX, right? Big move to the upside. They both getting a you know, a bull flag, right? So we just got a support from the 50 EMA. I don't think ICX got a support from the 50 EMA yet, but WANCHAIN just got a support from this area of 50 EMA. You know, now we're moving back above this area of 100 EMA. So let's just see if WANCHAIN gonna get some big serious volume. This volume we just got yesterday wasn't convincing enough, right? It's not even bigger than any of these previous selling pressure. So I'm not convinced about this volume. So I'm just gonna wait and see if WANCHAIN gonna be able to break this area of the, you know, the previous selling sequence, just about this area, right? Even though the selling pressure was declining, you know, the volume, the last volume like wasn't like convincing enough to break this area. So maybe like before Sunday we're gonna break this area, at least challenge, you know, the lowest, you know, volume profile within this area, this one right here. So at least for the short term, right? Nice bull flag. Now we're moving to this, you know, moving sideways. We're most likely gonna, you know, get some tough time to break this area of trend line. Even though we're moving above this area of 100 EMA, we're gonna get a tough time to break this area unless we get enough volume, right? So, and then most of these coins, they're going back to the you know, 25 you know, weekly average. So 25 weekly average, that's what I'm expecting all these coins to be going to. So let's go ahead and check the 25 EMA. So when you take a look at the 25 EMA, weekly EMA, you can see like you know, we still got like you know, serious we got serious space, right, just about this area to move up to, right? So you could be looking at least for the short term, right, another 50%, 60% move to the upside, right, from WANCHAIN, right? And all of the altcoin, right, they're going to be moving above this area of 25 EMA. So weekly EMA, that's what I'm looking for right now. We broke the 100 EMA on the daily time frame. So what I'm looking for, the weekly time frame right now. So because I think like alt are bullish enough now to be looking at to be looking at them as a on a weekly time frame, not on a 4-hour and daily time frame. So all right, I think the daily time frame is over, and the market gonna be very bullish, at least for the short term, until like before the beginning of the summer. We're gonna be having like a nasty summer. That's what I'm anticipating. But if we get a good summer, oh well, good. But I'm anticipating a very nasty summer. But before then, we're gonna have a beautiful spring. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RSI. When you take a look at the RSI, it's pretty healthy, 61. But I would love to see a RSI to make a U-turn and then make a nice correction, a surge correction. I'm not convinced with this impulse wave, so I want to see this type of correction, break it and come back, retest it. Either, you know, it's gonna make this correction, right, nice correction just like that before breaking it, or we're just gonna make a just like that, break it and then come back, retest it. That's what I'm looking for, the RSI, either this one or that one. But I'm not convinced with this impulse wave until like you know, we get a big volume coming in. So unless we get a big volume with an impulse wave, yes, but just an impulse wave without no volume, I'm not convinced at all. Even though I'm pretty bullish you know, on the one chain, but you know, we got to get the necessary volume in order to be convinced like the, you know, price going to be moving up. Selling pressure is declining, just like I said, right? So but big volume, that's all we need, right? So that's about it for today. Let me know what you think down below the comment section. If you think like any of these alt going to be making some new lows, or we're gonna make some new highs before the beginning of the summer, right? And then you know, some big sell-off to be followed during the summer, and then we're gonna have another beautiful fall. So the market is moving like in a nice, like this spring going to be better than you know, I'm thinking like this spring gonna be better than December 2017, because the whole market is moving, but they moving like in a different sequence. So for instance, like they're all not moving at the same time, unlike you know, the fall of 2017 when the whole market was moving together. So you know, you gotta think about it. NEO hasn't done anything, XRP hasn't done anything, VECHAIN hasn't done anything. All the top 50 coins, most of them, you know, still like got plenty of room to go. So the reason why I think like the market is still going to be going, the market is still going to be going up for the rest of the spring, at least let's say the next 45 to 60 days. I said it previously, mid-February, I said like market going to be moving like the next, you know, 30 to 45 days, and then the market been moving like, you know, since like, you know, mid-February, right? We've been moving up, so nice uptrend. So I'm expecting like a big move to the upside the next, you know, 45 to 60 days. All right, followed by a big correction. All right, that's about it for today. Thank you for watching.